This is the Heart Now Here Spurs Fans Podcast, a podcast for all you Spurs fans near or far. And it is becoming a broken record every single week. I don't know what to say. I do not know what to say. There's four of us here today. We got Matty Kerr, we got Kevin Des, we got our good friend Shane. How you doing, lads? You all right?
Oh,
Yes,
good,
Sam,
mate.
you?
Not
Feel
too
good?
bad. Not too bad.
I'm glad we're all good in some way because it is getting beyond a joke. We lost obviously to Leicester at home 2-1 after a nail biting, but a victory in Hoffenheim, which feels like 100 years ago now because yesterday was bad. Everton was bad, but yesterday was bad. And it seems like anybody who wants a win at the moment, who are so down on their luck, can play against Tottenham. And I literally, got a lot of great feedback for last week. Thank you very much, everyone, getting in touch. When me and Kev basically dissected everything that seems to be at fault with the club. But when we do that, you just think, come on, it's got to get better. It doesn't. And Matt, I'll start with you. You was at the game yesterday. We've been talking in the week in the podcast, or in not the podcast, in the group chat for the podcast about Ange out, what's wrong with the club, injuries. But that's a bad loss, mate. What was your take on it?
Yeah, thanks for starting with me, Lee. Appreciate that, mate.
Sorry, mate.
Do you know what? I don't know how I feel anymore. I just feel empty and hurt. I don't feel angry. Do you know what I mean? I just feel deflated right now. All I can say about yesterday is I thought we started off well, considering it was bad news with Spence and Maddison ruled out. Maddison's a strange one. I'm still unsure what's gone on there with him and Ange. There's something there, and it's just not right, But I think yesterday was different to other home games. Even when the game was 0-0, even when the game was 1-0, the Levy out chants was around the stadium louder than I've ever heard it. It grew momentum as the game went on. And then, as you know, when we went 1-0 down, it got even more toxic. It got very bad, yeah? So where you're considering, like, I went with Lou, and Lou was like, I didn't know fans hated Daniel Levy this much because it's very toxic today, yeah? I don't know, mate. Where do we go from here? I know we all want to blame someone, and I think everyone has to take responsibility in this blame. So Levy has to take blame in this, and the board have to take responsibility on this. Ange has to take responsibility, and the players definitely have to take responsibility. I know we all want to blame an individual, but everyone's to blame. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it almost seems it's one of those. And we are obviously in our normal slot. We're on Spotify, we're on Apple Podcasts. If you're listening to us on demand in your streaming platforms, as always. But we're also live. We're across Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook. Wherever you want to get in touch, please get in touch because it is very, very tough. And like Matty says there, you don't know where to turn, who to look at, because at every angle, there seems to be someone who just doesn't seem to be doing the right thing for the club. Shane, you were there yesterday, bruv. What was your take on it, mate?
Yeah, like Matt said, I just don't know anymore. It's after the Hoffenheim second half the other night, I honestly just thought we were going to get battered on Sunday. I thought that was a hard watch. Yes, we ground out the result on Thursday night. Obviously, I'm sure we'll go into that as well. But yeah, yesterday was painful. Really was. I seen a friend at the services on the way, a Leicester fan. I seen their coach, me and my lad, and he plays football with one of the kids. And they said they were desperate for the result. And I jokingly said, "You'll get one today against Dr. Tottenham."
Oh,
Deep
yeah.
down, deep down, I probably did think that they would. Like Matt said, the atmosphere was very strange as well. It as loud as it got was the Levy out. That's as loud as it got personally. I thought the atmosphere was awful. Other than that, that was really loud. Even I spoke to another friend today, and he's a Leicester fan. He was there, and I even thought the Leicester fans were rubbish yesterday, even when they were winning. But yeah, it was a really strange one. There was just a lot of mistakes, just individual errors. Like Bentancur, Porro, Sarr, they're the players that should be stepping up to the plate. They are, at the end of the day, they're fighting for the, regardless if they're tired or they should be first team players. And they're fighting for that first team place even when all the players are back. So the fact that they're not, they should be regulars there now. And then they're the ones making mistakes. You've got the likes of Bergvall at 80 something minutes, still sprinting around. And you've got Porro flapping his arms about, moaning at some of the younger lads. It was really hard for me yesterday. Obviously, again, I'm sure we're going to the Ange in, Ange out, but yeah, Levy, we can't sack him, can we? So we're kind of stuck with him. But yeah, it was a tough one for me. It really was.
It is, and I guess Shane, me, Matt, Kev, TJ, we've spoken here vocally about where we think there are problems there, and like you said, Ange in, Ange out. Where's your stance on it? And when these players that you're mentioning, these bigger name players in the sense of more experience, your Poros, your Bentancurs, like do you see their lack of real motivation, their lack of quality at the moment, their lack of ability at the moment? Do you see that through how they're being coached? Do you see it just they're in a rut, just like the whole club sees? Where's your take on Ange, and where's your take on how he affects the players?
Who was that for, Lee?
That's for Shane. Sorry, Shane.
Oh,
Yeah, just as we've sort of said before, like with the other guys, we kind of have alluded to that in a way. But have you got a sort of stance on where you think that is with the players and the manager?
Um, I think they should be. Kev got the brunt of it from me in the essay this morning of a text. Sorry, Kev. I know I like to give them to you after each game, but yeah, I sent it to Kev. And I also sent it to another group of friends. Just basically, in my opinion, regardless, if I get these lads are tired, and it's a bit of a different stance on things, but they should be able to play 90 minutes of football. Yes, 3 times a week. All of us, like I said to Kev, I work 12-hour shifts that I then go to work. And I know it's a completely different ball game, but look at they're getting paid 100+ grand a week. I'll go out there for 50 grand a week and run for 90 minutes, and I am not fit at all. But do you think just give a bit? Give a bit. I just yesterday, lots of Porro just waving his arms around when the ball's gone past him or he's given the ball away. He's played a poor pass to Bentancur, and then he's waving his arms around, looking around for an excuse. It's just not good enough. And there's players on there, the likes of Mikey Moore and Sonny. I'm sure again we'll get into that, but for me, he needs to leave as a club legend while we all love him and respect him for what he does. Yes, he had a few chances yesterday, but other than that, all he does for me is just slow that game down. He is too scared to go into any challenges. He will not take a player on anymore. And he just goes backwards. And it's just so painful, man. It really is. I mean, I'm kind of, I don't know, sorry, Lee, I don't know if you said about the Anjin or did you want me to answer that now or? Oh, I've lost you a sec. It's gone mute.
Yeah, yeah, please,
Uh,
mate. Love to hear what you think
yeah,
on it.
me personally, I just think what else do we do? We have to stick with him. In my opinion, we can't keep losing. We can't keep going through this. I understand that, but you sack him still in the same position. You still got the same group of players. Nothing's going to change. I don't think personally. Again, I'm with Matt. Something not right with the Madison thing, but they're both praised each other this week, so I don't think that they don't like each other or there's anything along them lines. But yeah, he last season before that Chelsea game, that was the most excited I've been about Tottenham for many years. Um, so I know it is in within him and within this team, but we get rid of him, another manager, which who's out there? There's no one I can think of off the top of my head who's out there, and who do we get to replace him? And even if they do replace him, we've still got to wait for these players to come back. When they do come back, I mean, I'm hearing about obviously Romero and Van der Ven potentially this week, but I think regardless, if he loses to Liverpool and then Villa in next week is I think that could be the end of him. I personally don't want it to be, but I think it might be.
Yeah, it's looking worrying now, and at the end of the day, I think we spoke about it last week, Kev. The naivety that came out in that Everton game to go to a back 3 days after Arsenal, when you probably had no time to implement the system. Yesterday, Archie Gray's at left back. You go whether or not you like Reguilon, he's played him in moments recently. He didn't put him in left back to move Archie Gray into the middle of the park. A guy that is probably in confidence and does feel like he's done a good job, is doing a good job, can move the ball, could help us a bit further up the pitch. It just felt like, again, it was just shifting it around a little bit. I mean, where's your take on it? We spoke long and hard last week, Kev, about everything. 7 days later, we're in the same position. Well, we're worse. Kev, what's your take on it, mate? What's different from last week?
What's different from last week is we're probably in a worse situation than we was last week. You know, with that Leicester result. You know, this is a team that have lost fucking 7 on the bounce before they come into it. You know, we've joked about relegation and stuff like that, but with this current team at the minute, if they can't beat a team that's lost 7 on the bounce at home, if they've lost 7 on the bounce, we can't beat a team like that at home with the team that we put out yesterday. I firmly believe that we are in the shit as it stands. What can save us is obviously players coming back. I mean, some of them players coming back is going to feel like new signings. It's going to put a breath of fresh air into the team. I'm sure for the manager and I'm sure for the supporters at the games. I mean, it's crying out for something fresh at the moment. It's really stale with I'm talking about on the field matters. It's really stale. Players are playing in games at the moment, for me, that certain players, what Shane mentioned, players like Porro, Son, players that think it's okay to underachieve at the moment because maybe they haven't got a player breathing down the neck because of the depleted numbers. Porro's a prime example for me. I think he's playing as a player who kind of plays with a bit of arrogance for me and thinks he's a bit head above the rest. And, you know, moaning at certain players, making mistakes in games and then fucking feigning injuries, like putting a grimace on his face. I fucking hate when he does that. I mean, at the moment, we've just, apart from the 2 young boys, I don't think we have any fighters at the moment. And that's what the problem the manager's got. He hasn't really got the players that he can start games or start players and then take them off and bring players off the bench that, you know, can challenge them for their spot. We are kind of just, you know, we have what we have at the moment, and it's really telling. The transfer window, I'm not even thinking about now. I'm just thinking about getting players back. I mean, if we didn't have players coming back, I honestly believe that we would be in a relegation fight, without a doubt. Without a doubt. This current team now and the way we're playing would send us down. I honestly believe that. And players like Kulusevski yesterday, they're the kind of players that you really want, you know, to grab the game by the scruff of the neck and be the superstar player that you are, just to get us out of the shit. And they can't even get going at the moment. I don't think the manager knows what to do at the moment anymore. I think he's I don't know, you boys play Championship Manager. You know when you're about to get the sack and you don't really know what else to do, so you just start trying to change players about.
Press all the buttons. That's what I did, yeah.
You know, just to try and get fucking through it. I feel like by shifting players about, like Archie Gray to left back, the right back to midfield, he's just trying everything at the moment and nothing's working. But at the moment, we are really, really in the shit. And, you know, we can go into the Levy thing, which I'm sure we will. But I'm talking about just the team and the players at the moment. We haven't got any leaders and fighters out there at the moment. We are a team at the moment that looks like a team in a relegation battle. You can't lose at home to Leicester City with losing 7 games on the trot before they come to you. It's fucking criminal. It's really, really bad. And I think the most shocking thing I thought about today is that there is nobody, honestly, all right, I'll tell you what, bar Southampton, there is nobody in that league at the moment that I feel we're better than. That's the honest thing. I don't feel like we're better than anybody else than Southampton. We could play anybody at the moment, and I don't think we'd win. I mean, that is the shocking stat of it. For a club of our magnitude and some of the players we still have out there should be doing better. You know, there's no thing about it. We need our best players back. And I mean, Van der Ven is so fucking important to the way we play because I'm tired of us trying to commit to attacks in games, lose the ball, get dispossessed, and we're fucking 6 against fucking 3, defending. And it's just like, you need your quick players back. Porro's nowhere near getting back. Kulusevski doesn't want to get back. Son doesn't want to get back. Some of your centre midfielders don't want to get back. It's really, really hard to watch. And where he wants to play the same way, it's really biting him in the arse at the moment with the injuries we've got and everything else, and the lack of action in the transfer window. So yeah, I mean, I haven't felt like this really since when Harry Redknapp took over. When we were sitting in that bottom 3, I think we were bottom at that point as well, around about January time. Yeah. I feel like we're kind of at that stage at the moment, but we don't really have a manager. Not saying I want a manager change, but we don't have nothing fresh coming into it to rejuvenate us at the moment. With this current playing side now, I think we go out of both cups and we keep on losing league games. So it's about getting players back, and it's about, if we can do any loans or something in the last couple of days, then great. But this team at the moment is not good enough to play in the Premiership as it stands.
But the thing that makes me laugh about it all, and the worry about it all, is the fact that we've got 27 days into the new year, 27 days into a new window, and we bought a keeper who you could say is going to be used in a backup scenario. Maybe if he is first team, who knows? But it's not the one area you felt that we needed long term. We didn't believe in Forster, but we'd kind of had to get through with him for a month already, month and a half. And the guy that we had on the bench, who played in Hoffenheim, Austin, done all right in the 2 games he's played. It's just felt like the same story again and again. And a great friend of ours and a great friend of mine, good listener of the show, Orrin Campbell, who said here in the chat that Levy is taking us for fools now. The number don't lie. He had a great analogy today where he said, literally, if we were to change the manager, like Shane was saying, like anyone, you've all been saying in many ways, Spurs, if we were something that you could make a bit of a comedy analogy to, the greatest show, Fools and Horses, we're almost like Trigger's broom. We're like Trigger's fucking broom. And when Orrin said that, I couldn't help but laugh, because it's true in a way. When he gets that badge for the service and not changing that broom, it has 17 handles, 15 heads. That's Tottenham. And that is what Levy does. That is what Levy does. And I know.
Yeah, I don't fucking Trigger it right back at the moment. I fucking know that.
Right, you'd have to. But I mean, a lot of people here are agreeing with Bryn's analogy there. Rob Perry says it's so true. But Matt, when you look at it yourself, I know you've been really strong, Anjin. You've seen about the injuries. After games like this, and after a big week, we're talking to the group, how are you feeling about it?
I'm still Anjin. Nothing changes over the last couple of games. I've always said the league position is what it is now, and we have to put our focus into the cups. Like Kev said, if we didn't have players come back from injury, I'd be worried. Yeah, but I do think our form will kind of turn. If we finish 10th, we finish 10th. I do think we have a chance in the cups. I know Spurs and trophies don't really go. We all know that. But we have got a good chance. You don't have to be consistent to win a cup. Europa League, we're in the top 8 and we've basically played our reserves throughout the tournament and we're in the top 8, yeah? Carabao Cup, it's half time, we're 1-0 up. We've got a big second leg with Ramiro van der Ven potentially back for that. I don't fancy us going to Anfield and getting something if we don't have the injuries back. We will just wipe us out. I'm still Anjin. I've said it as well. Ange deserves criticism what he's done. We've had injuries. He's been stubborn. He's not changed the way we played. We could have picked up a couple more points than what we have done in this period. But I think the current squad he's got and the injury he's got, you kind of have to give him the benefit of the doubt, at least to the end of the season. I'm not just going to keep jumping on. If Spurs lose 1 week, then my mood changed the next week. Do you know what I mean? It's a league game. If it's kind of out of a cup competition now, I'll be angry. I'll be fuming. But right now in the league, it is what it is. Like I say, guys, all these people that say about Ange out, we know what's going to happen. We've been here before. Ryan Mason takes charge to the end of the season. That's not the option. We don't need that option again. We just need to stick with Ange, If Levy wants to do something about it, he has to invest or get Ange 1 or 2 players this window just as bodies to help him out. Because right now, yesterday, our bench was a bunch of school kids. We're relying on Archie Gray, Bergval, Papasar to get us out of trouble. They're 18-year-old kids, like 19-year-old kids. Like, that's what we're relying on at the minute. And senior players have not turned up. But also, what I'm going to do is Hoffenheim. Ange deserves some stick for this as well, right? Hoffenheim. Reguilon isn't available for Europa League, so he didn't play, yeah? Why not? He's saying that Papasar shouldn't have played yesterday. He was injured, yeah? So why not just push Archie Gray into midfield and Reguilon starts at left back yesterday? Again, it's that thing of where Papasar's not fit, but we've risked playing him for potential injury. So we're always that 1 or 2 players coming back from injury, but then 1 or 2 coming back, but then 1 or 2 going back off. You know, Richarlison yesterday come off with a groin injury. We think, no way can this happen. Do you know what I mean? But the Papasar one is strange because Archie Gray could have just gone in midfield with Regular on left back. So Ange does deserve some stick in this. I'm not saying that, but we have to just stick with Ange. I know he's not going to get to the end of the season. If we go out to Liverpool and Villa in the FA Cup, Ange will be gone. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, and and none of us want that. I don't think, unless you know, especially for our pod, I don't think it's the first thing we look at because we know, as you know, that analogy of triggers, bro, that horrible cycle will just start again, and we don't want that because all it will do is give a slight sense of bounce back ability if he gets in a fresh name and we get a couple of good results, and it's almost like the wool gets pulled over our eyes. Forget what happened before. It's all about now, and that's the worry we don't want. I mean, Shane, when you were there, you know, the talk amongst you and your crowd, like, what's the talk on Levy? What's the feeling about how things can change and how to direct it at Levy?
The talk in my group today, bearing in mind none of them are Spurs fans. There's 2 Liverpool fans. These are like my close friends. 2 Liverpool fans and a Villa fan in our group chat. And they agree, saying Levy's the issue, and they're saying the only way. And I know, obviously, I'm a massive fan of this pod, so I listen to it week in, week out. I know what we've said about people just not turning up. It's not going to happen. It isn't going to happen. I said to Kev, I didn't know if there was some special South Korean day or something yesterday, and I'm genuinely not taking a piss and being deadly serious. I've never seen that many. I know there's always loads of them, like fans for Sun and what have you. Yesterday was mental. Like, I've never seen it. Even in the club shop, there was like South Korean translations on the big board. There was a South Korean DJ in there. It was mental. Like, I couldn't get over how many. But they'll just go. They will just go because they'll be obsessed to see Sun, and they will fill out tickets. So obviously, I'm not a season ticket holder myself, and I just go. But even now, at the minute, I just don't want to be there. So you guys with the season tickets, it's painful at the minute. I mean, obviously, I've got a lot longer to travel to go and stuff, but yeah, it's not nice. Obviously, he's just not going to go. He's making money. He's doing his job. He's the businessman side of it. He doesn't give a shit about the club. I don't care what anyone says. He does not give a shit about this football team. He might care about the club as in the money he's making, but as a club, as a football team, he doesn't give a shit, and he needs to go. He is a problem. He always has been a problem. I've seen a brilliant video today. It was kind of few clips of one of the Conte rant, one of Mourinho, one of bits of Ange. Really good clip, and they're just basically all talking about Levy, and yeah, here's the issue, but there's nothing we can do about it. That's the most frustrating thing.
I mean,
And that is it.
Lee,
There is
let me
nothing we
just
can
jump.
really do
I
about
mean,
it.
Lee, let me just jump in there quickly, Lee. That volume of Levy out yesterday was probably the loudest I've ever seen it, or loudest I've ever heard it. And it took us 24 years to be 15th in the league for everyone to start having a pop and moan. This should have been done years ago. You know, this should have been done, especially after we with the Pochettino stuff. That's when it really should have been done. But we've just been guilty as supporters of loving our club and basically just coasting through everything. And the board is to blame when I talk about coasting as well, of not worrying about what we win, but where we finish and how much money it brings in for TV and for Europe and everything else. And it took us now to be in love with a manager only a year ago, to now the fan base turning toxic against not only the manager, the players, but now the board. It's took too long. And I saw an interesting comment on something today where it says, us to Levy, we're not Tottenham Hotspur supporters, we're customers. And I think that is bang on. I think we're customers for him. I've said last week, he doesn't love the club like we love the club. He's not a proper Tottenham supporter, because if he was a proper Tottenham supporter, he would do everything in his power to give loyal fans like us, and like I said, the older generation, and the next generation of my kids coming through, some glory to look at or to be a part of. And it ain't doing that. And I'm glad that happened yesterday. And I enjoyed watching that cunt squirm in his fucking seat and have to listen to that and watch his missus pat him on the knee like it's all right, because it fucking ain't all right. Because you're all right because you're fucking rich with it. But people like us who paid a hard-earned money to fucking go. And I know some people that paid their last fucking 30 quid to go and watch that club. And he gives us absolutely fucking nothing back. And I think it's a piss take to everybody. And I don't feel sorry for him one bit. He's dragged this fucking club. And that banner that went out yesterday with the 24 years and the manager changes the trophies is fucking bang on. And we knew it. But when you see it like that and you see the team struggling as they are, he is the reason for this fucking downfall. And it's been coming for fucking years. And he's a fucking disgrace to call himself a fucking Spurs fan. And just because you sit in that seat, home and away, does not make you a Tottenham Hotspur fan. And I'm talking about Levy. It does not make him a Tottenham fan. So I'm really disappointed. I mean, this transfer window for me has shown me what he's fucking all about. This is a manager you proclaim to love. You want to back. You want to give a project. You want to copy them lot down the road and get through the bumpy ride and then back him. You have done nothing when the geezer that you're supposed to love as a manager has nothing to play with. And you're now 27 days into a transfer window and you've signed him a keeper. It's fucking unbelievable. I mean, I'd love for him to come out and give us the reasons why he does not back a manager who's playing kids and has a depleted squad, has young kids running their asses into the ground. I need to know why you have not backed this manager in this transfer window. And if you ain't going to back him, fucking sack him. I mean, don't do it. Not do anything, because you're killing us. You're killing the season. It's going to get further and further away. You're going to go out of cups, and then you are going to end up sacking him. Then you're going to have Ryan Mason in charge. Then you'll end up in the fucking championship, no doubt. And then what? I mean, I don't know what it's going to take anymore to get this geezer out of the club. But I'm glad it started yesterday, and I hope it stays as toxic as that. Because I said that something bad needs to happen to us for it to change. And if we've got to go down to the championship or finish 17th and not win fuck all for that to happen, then I'll do it. Because I can't carry on with this fucking owner, because he does absolutely nothing for this football team apart from earn money for the club and for ENIC and everything else through the concerts and everything else. He isn't a bit of me. He isn't one of us. He's an absolute cunt. Sorry.
Go here, people. Here. No, it's a good rant, mate. It's a good rant. I mean, Orin said here, like, Ange's legacy will be he's the catalyst that rids the club of ENIC. It's the beginning of the end. We'd like to think so, but Matt, I mean, I spoke to Kev about it last week on the pod. Shane said a little bit about it. Like, people want to go to Tottenham because we are one of the best supported clubs, not just in England, in the world. The loyalty that has remained in what you could say our lifetimes. We've seen 2-3 trophies in our real supporting lifetime as a Spurs fan, but the loyalty that's remained there, the love that has remained there, the stadium and the training grounds, and that can all come. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, if it was still 36,000 at White Hart Lane, it would be 36,000 in that stadium. Do you know what I mean? It never wavered. It never went away. It's always been there. It's never going to go, though, is it, Matt? And so, do you know what I mean? I feel like Daniel Levy can take that moment and, even if he squirms a little bit, he probably goes onto a trophy room in his chairman office and look and go, there's a Deloitte there's a Financial Times, there's a thing, and he's won every trophy in the world for what he does as a businessman. But he knows that it's going to still happen. So how realistic do you think you can see him squirming to go, I need to do something, or squirming to go, shit, I've been found out and this might be the end of me? Do you think there's even a chance of it?
Boys, we all know he's got us by the bollocks here, yeah? We all know that we pay a season ticket prices. If we don't go, if we leave our seat empty for a couple of years or a couple of games, he can pull our season tickets off us. If you put it, everyone's going to put it on the exchange because the ticket prices are so high. Like, for instance, 81 quid to go and watch Newcastle. We might think, no, do you know what? I ain't going. But you put it on, people will put it on exchange because it's 81 quid back in their pocket. It's hard, yeah? You get all the, like, for instance, the Koreans or the tourists, other tourist attractions that will come and buy them tickets. The issue we have is when we moved into that stadium, we thought we were going to start competing and stuff like that. However, we're totally wrong, yeah, because they sent the surveys out, didn't they? What would you like to do before the game and after the game? What entertainment can we do? And all that was is to get you in the stadium earlier and keep you in the stadium after. Why they got James Black and the singer of that day, yeah? Everyone still goes in there and spends money on beers. Daniel Levy couldn't care less if we're all sitting in that stadium singing "We Want Levy Out." He's just sitting there like,
Matt, I saw a video yesterday of 15, 20 minutes after that game. Someone took a video in the concourse, or what were other things, and everybody was singing and dancing to one of them singers on there. And I thought, where the fuck have we gone as a football club where we're in a relegation fight at the moment? We've lost against the team that are shit. We've lost 7 on the bounce. We've lost at home. The club's toxic, but everyone's still singing and dancing to a geezer singing on a microphone. I'm like, when I lose, if I would have went to that game yesterday, I would have been fucking straight out of there, and I would have walked down that road with a fucking and I would have gone straight home. That's where I am, and this is the kind of supporters we've got in there at the moment. And even some of the Levy chants that I saw from like a fan's point of view when they were singing it out, there was fucking loads of them just sitting in their seat. I mean, there's just a different type of supporter it's such a mix of supporters in there. Where, like you said, there are people that think, well, I've got a ticket, I'm going to enjoy my day, I'm not going to get involved in all that stuff. And then you've got people like us who think, well, no, I've been going for 40 years and fucking seen us win 3 trophies. And one was in 91 and 2 League Cups. For the amount of money we spent, and the amount we've travelled, the amount we've put into that football club, and that's all we've got to show. I mean, Levy surely has to come out and look at it and think, over my tenure, I have been a failure. For a football team, I have failed. Why would you not want to change that? At some point, why would you not want to go, do you know what? I've got all the fucking thing around me. Now I've really got to pump it into this football club and win trophies for this football club. And then maybe I can save a bit of face for when I do fucking finally jack it in, that you've got trophies as well as giving us everything else. Doesn't want to do that because you've got type of
support. I don't think he cares, Kev. I genuinely don't think he cares. Like Lee said, I think he'll sit back and he'll see I've won this for financial and all the rest of it, and I think that's all he cares about. It's clear as day. That was yesterday. Honestly, that was the loudest that stadium got, was with the Levy out chant, and it was as loud as I've ever heard it. But honestly, I think he just sits there and don't give a fuck. I don't think he cares. I think he's just like, I'm going back home to a mansion. I'm getting paid nice money. You keep putting money in my pocket, you bunch of twats. That's all. I don't think he cares at all. I really don't.
Do you know what? Yesterday it was freezing cold, raining, right? So Lou wanted to go in the Spurs shop. We were soaking after like kids' football. So we went there, and she wanted a hat and gloves. So went in the Spurs shop, bought a hat and gloves, right? They not go in the stadium. I think, do you know what? I'll have a beer before the game. So I'm a culprit for this as well. Yesterday I come out of there. I spent £100. Do you know what I mean? And I'm not the only fan to do that. Because before the game, you think, I want a beer. Do you know what I mean? After half time, you think, I'll go and have a beer. You don't even realise, but he's got you without you even knowing. Do you know what I mean? Because it's just easy. But I think we've lost our identity as a football club now. And we're now run as like the O2 as a venue, you know, for concerts and that. It's transfer window. We haven't signed no one. And all we do is get spammed with emails. Buy your Chris Eubank tickets and Nigel Benn tickets at the Tottenham Stadium now.
Do you know what? I'm quite happy about that, though, Matt. I'm looking forward to that.
Kev, you might be happy about that. Levy is making millions from that, and we're not going to see none of it. That is the biggest.
Rolling Stones are coming.
4 days. But you know what? It's it's going to be hard, but you know what? It's going to take something, like Kev said, even if we finish 17th, don't get no European football where it takes a massive hit, where he doesn't give himself a £3-4 million bonus, like for doing that, you know? But what it can be is we've got Man United and Man City coming up live on Sky Sports. There has to be some. I think Man United, there is a protest before the game. There's been a planned protest for the Man United game. 4:30 on a Sunday. Everyone, if you are a Spurs season ticket holder and that, like if you put it on exchange, like people are just going to sit there and watch the game. But if you are a season ticket holder on the 24th minute, you have to just walk out. Something like that where the Sky cameras zoom in, everyone walking out, and there's empty seats everywhere. I think that's the only way to get him is by embarrassing him.
If that was at the White Lane Stadium, I think you have half a chance. In that stadium,
yeah, I know. I agree, Kev. I agree. But he knows he's going to sell out every game. He knows he's going to sell out no matter what.
It's really interesting because obviously as Spurs fans, we love what we do with the podcast. We love that we have an audience here, but obviously there is a lot of other Spurs podcasts out there. One that I really enjoy listening to. One of them is Last Word on Spurs. I think it's a really good podcast. And they obviously were looking at the game yesterday, and they've almost asked Tottenham podcast to unite in this whole idea of really letting everyone know in our own audience space to fucking start thinking about what we're doing about this. And as I said, I can't begrudge people for wanting to go, because if it is a bad time, you're always thinking about next time it might be better, next time it might be better. And not just that, it's the love of the day, it's the love of the experience, it's the love of being with people that you've grown up with, that you've shared some of, if not the best times of your life with. That's the drug of football. That is always the drug of football, and you'd always want to go back for that every single time. Rain, snow, shine, cold, you know, the worst times of your life, the best times of your life, you're gonna go back. That's the drug. But there has to be this.
I think yesterday was. I think yesterday was the start of something. If you've got any chance of it happening, I mean, like Matt's saying, I mean,
Gotta be.
The media have made a bit of a thing about it today, and I'm glad they have with the Levy out chance. It even made it on Sky Sports News. That, you know, headline when I went on the app today was Spurs fans don't know who to blame, Ange or Levy. But we've never really had that. There's never been a lot of media attention on Levy's failures, and by the Levy out chance yesterday, I think it's now will be the start of something. And every time we do lose a game, and we are going to lose games coming up because we haven't got great fixtures coming up either at the moment, we are going to lose games, and I can see it just getting worse and worse, especially when you go away. When you go away, that's where your fucking diehards go. And if they want to fucking sing Levy out, they'll sing it for fucking 90 minutes for a game. They don't give a shit. With at home, it's different because you have a different blend of supporters. You probably have some that think Levy's okay. You'll have some that don't even want to get up and sing a Spurs song. So it's kind of hard. But yesterday, I mean, I was quite surprised of how loud it was. And now that has to be the start of something. You know, if we're going to continue to foul, and I mean, to be fair to the Spurs fans, yesterday, even at 1-0 up, they were still singing it. I mean, it's the Kulusevski song that's been ringing around for the last 6 weeks or 8 months, 8 weeks. That sort of come on. But the whole Levy out thing was quite brutal yesterday, and so it should be. So I think now the media have got hold of it. And they know that the fans are disgruntled with him. I think every time it happens now, they'll pick up on it and make a massive thing of it because it create a story for them. It create headlines. So, and I'm glad it will. I'm glad it will happen because it deserves to happen. And he's got away with it way too long for me.
Well, that's all we can hope for. That everyone does band together now and start to sing this song. I think that's the start. As Matt said, Man United in front of the Sky cameras, the world, Manchester United can't get a bigger game in terms of global fan base. People got to walk out, but then saying that, Shane, you come from a far place, mate. You come, you know, you clock the miles. Would you be prepared to do something like that on the 24th minute against Manchester United when you've done all your travelling?
Yeah, I mean, if I had my little one, that's the hard thing because my little boy at the minute, he absolutely loves it. Even yesterday, losing, he still loves it, and the memories that we made is something special. So I do get that side of it where the people who would want to stay, but I think for the goodness of the club, you'd have to. Yeah, you really would have to, because something's got to happen now. It really has. Like you said, it's the 27th. Signed absolutely no one. On the flip side of it, though, boys, I did just want to ask a question. Um, who do we sign? I mean, I've seen today about that Diblin from Southampton, who is incredible. I would snap your hand off and get him over anyone at the moment. I don't know if you boys watch much of him, but he's unbelievable player. But other than that, I personally think they're sitting back and thinking we have got everyone coming back in a relatively short period of time, probably what, say the next 6 weeks. You think? I think
The thing is, though, Shane, the thing is about that, about thinking about players coming back and we might be all right, is that if you don't buy anyone in this window to help this current lot out, if some of them get injured again once that
Yeah,
window starts, we are fucked, and we are
yeah.
back into this. If you don't sign anyone and you lose Van der Ven and Romero again, I know, say a couple of weeks into February, March, April, and May, without Mickey Van der Ven, you are definitely going to be flirting with relegation, especially if you haven't got him or Solanke. I mean, I don't see us getting out of any shit with that is, and especially with how toxic it is. I mean, like I said earlier, at the moment, the only thing that can get us out of this shit is a couple of players coming in to liven the place up, or our players coming back. It is dying, or crying out for something fresh, just to get everyone to go, oh, do you know what? He's back. I feel better again. You know, it would just do something to the crowd. It'll just liven everyone up. But at the moment, it is pure toxic, and it has a right to be.
Yeah, it's hard in January now to pinpoint exactly where we want and who we should get. It is feeling it's tough, man. I'm finding it. I'm struggling. I can't lie. I'm struggling with it in many ways, and I think that's why I just hope that, you know what I mean, we get to the final. We get to the final of the cup. I mean, if anything, though, that gives Levy a little bit more ammunition to say, well, look, you know, X amount of cup finals, X amount of fourth place, fifth place finishes. You know, it's tough. It's tough, and therefore, then I think the last question I need to ask Kev is, you know, you've kind of alluded to it, but like, would you give Ange next season, even if, you know, injuries come back, you know, the injured players come back, and we do a little bit better? Is he a man for a 3-year project?
I mean, I'm a firm believer of, no matter how much I like you as a manager or whatever, if I feel like you haven't got better or done better than the season before, I feel like there always needs to change. I feel like if you've done worse than you have the season before, then you've kind of got this thing's got to be done. Listen, I like his style and all that, but I can just sort of see the same thing. If we kept hold of him again, will he be backed in the summer? Probably not. I mean, I think the worry of doing this all again next year, I mean, it also depends on who's available as well as a manager to bring in. You know, there's not many out there that I know of that I would pick. I mean, there's only a couple that I'd really realistically want in now if I had to get rid of Ange. But
Do you think that's the reason why he is still there, Kev? Because there is no one out there at the minute. I mean, I've heard a
possibly.
few names today, and Southgate, if honest to God, I 100% won't be going again if we do get Southgate. That will fucking be the end of me.
No,
Really
I think
would.
I think the two I would try and go out and get, but I mean, they're in clubs. That's the problem. Is Eddie Howe and probably the Bournemouth guy, who's doing a fucking brilliant job as well. But I mean, that's really messy to try and get them out of contracts in January. Plus, he'd end up spending loads of money on getting the manager out of the club, getting him in, but then not backing him. I mean, it's the same circle all the time. But yeah, I mean, if Ange finished fucking 16th and didn't win a trophy, then I mean, I can't even defend him on that. I mean, a trophy really is what's going to save him now. The players coming back could save him by winning a trophy. I mean, listen, we get everyone back. I mean, we could have a really good go at that Europa League. Really, really got a massive chance if everyone stays fit. And I'm not talking about bringing players in. I mean, the current squad, I think we've got a great shot at it. But I mean, for the way the injuries have been happening, I mean, I don't know who's a fucking doctor down there, but I mean, there's been way too many. I've never known an injury crisis like it since I supported Spurs. Can't remember it ever being as bad as this. And
It is
you
crazy.
know, you can't you can't sort of guarantee that everyone's going to stay fit till May. So I thought the window for me was something to maybe look at after January, with the Europa League, with the amount of games we have, with the FA Cup, with the Carabao Cup semi-final and final. It would have been just nice to thicken up that squad and give the manager and the players a real go at it. But at the moment, with how thin we are, I mean, like I said, if we lost Van der Ven and Romero again, or lost Solanke, February, March time, I mean, our season's over. So that's why I really struggle with nobody coming in this window. I'm not even saying they've got to be like world-class players. They've just got to be someone as good as what we got, or so, just little fill gaps. Just why players are out. But something decent there instead of playing a Son through the middle, instead of playing Archie Gray out of position all the time. Having to play injured players. I mean, there's a couple of these young boys on the bench at the moment. I mean, why couldn't you give them more minutes yesterday? I mean, I felt like yesterday's game and games previously, it kind of needs that mad energy, that Mikey Moore to get on the ball, that this kid that no one knows about. I mean, he's talked about this Elise kid, where his name for ages, saying he's going to be something. Newcastle, happened to them, was it this year or last season? They had so many injuries, and he just had to blood kids through. And they were doing a fucking great job. They were good enough, and he picked them and they played well. Why can't we do that as a club? Why can't we just think we've got nothing to lose here? We're 2-1 at home, 2-1 down at home to Leicester. If we think this kid is what it is, go and give him that opportunity and that chance to go out there and shine, because a young kid will fucking go for it. And that is what we kind of needed, because it was stale yesterday. So, I mean, at the moment, we're just in a rut and we're stuck with what we got. Until players come back, this for me is how it would be.
So then, looking into it from there, anyone going to Elfsborg on Thursday night? No.
Yes. For loyalty.
Oh, you are?
For loyalty points.
For loyalty points. Right, fair enough. There's loyalty in that. Matt, you going? Shane?
No, I've got a ticket, but the geezer I work with, he's never been to the Spurs stadium. So I said, like, yeah, mate, go on, you can have it.
Yeah. Give it for free, yeah?
Yeah, mate.
But I would say with that case in point, is that the kind of game where everyone's got to shout about and go crazy? Is that not what we should be doing?
Be a different crowd, Lee, on Thursday. Could be a different crowd.
Yeah.
Proper family oriented.
What do you reckon the number will be though? Good 40,000, don't you think? They're going to make some money off it, which is almost a dead rubber.
I mean, these sort of games are for people that just can't ever get a ticket. And when it's very difficult to get a ticket for Spurs anyway if you're not a member. Even if you're a member, it's difficult. But these sort of games are the only time that you're going to be able to take your missus, 4 kids, fucking aunties, uncles, granddads, all sit together. It's these sort of games that do it, and that's why you get a different crowd. And it's nice that people get that opportunity. But in this sort of game, it's like, I mean, even if we won this 3 or 4-0, for me, nothing changes. And to be fair, even the Leicester game, even if we won that, I don't know how much would have changed, because we've got so many shit fixtures coming up with a depleted squad. But I think it would be good to see some of these young boys who've been itching to get some minutes on Thursday. Lankshire's, this Elise boy in centre mid, Mikey Moore to get more minutes. The new Korean lad who's been on the bench and we haven't seen yet. I mean, these are the sort of games that you can, but we obviously can't start them in games because you don't know what we're going to get at the moment. But, if you go 3-0 up in this sort of game, I think it'd be good to see that. But yeah, I mean, whatever the result is, no matter how many we win by, because I do think we'll win. I mean, nothing changes, and it's back to business on Sunday against Brentford away, which is going to be a right shit game. They are not the sort of team you need right now. Do you know what I mean?
Got a good home record. So does anyone think we're going to win, Matt? Do you think we're going to win it?
What, on Thursday?
No, Sunday.
Oh, right. No, I think we beat Brentford.
Matt, you fucking
3-1 Spurs. Listen.
Really?
Yeah, 3-1 Spurs. Cootie will be back. He'll play like the first half. Van der Ven will probably take him off about the 70th minute. I'm telling you now, Spurs will win on Sunday.
Matt, your predictions are normally right at the minute, man, as well. I pray Matt is right. Yeah, a bit fucking mystic Matt. Everything you say normally happens.
We're calling that.
Yeah, I hate to be the negative one, I really do, but I'm dreading it. I really am. And like we've all said, I think Thursday doesn't matter. We all think that we should pump them, but even then, you just don't know with this team at the minute. it just baffles me. Like you said about Lancashire, Sonny's having an absolute stinker yesterday. He brings Richarlison off. Why not? Okay, you put Mikey Moore on that. That's good, but I don't get why Lancashire's not come on a striker, an out-and-out striker. We're putting balls in the box yesterday. There's no one there. Lancashire's itching to get his chance, and yeah, Sunday I'll let Mystic Mac give my prediction because yeah, I don't fancy us. I really don't.
Shane, I'm beginning to think
Three
you're
what then?
TJ.
You are sorry?
In your seat. Negative
You are-
Shane.
I know, yeah. Right, we'll win. We'll win on Sunday. We'll win Thursday.
Yay. Come on,
Go on,
Kev.
Kev.
I'm gonna say we'll win. I'm gonna drink what Matt's drinking. What you got, Kev?
3-1 Brentford.
Oh,
Listen to get 2, Mabemo to get 1. But you know what? I'm down there Sunday to watch. I mean, I think I'm about to get tickets to go into the. You know, when we went to watch that Borough game, Lee, when we went inside and watched it in the stadium.
Oh, in the clubhouse, not the clubhouse, in the stadium bit with the big. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
I'm getting 2 tickets for that, and I'm also going to the ladies' game a few hours after that. We're playing on Sunday, so I mean, I might get a bit of fucking joy watching the girls on Sunday instead of the fucking blokes. So, kind of looking forward to the girls' game more than the Brentford game.
Yeah.
But I don't fancy us at the minute, and I mean they score for fun, Brentford, and I think they'll be at us. Every team at the moment fancies beating us, and every team wants to go at us. And even a team that's lost 7 on the bounce wanted to have a go at us yesterday. So, I mean, I think we're weak at the moment, and yeah, it's not a great game for us on Sunday. So, yeah, I'm going to go 3-1 Brentford. Sorry, lads.
Lee, what's your champagne moment for yesterday?
My the trumpeter, he done it pretty good yesterday. Every note was good. A lot of times in the stadium when I've been there, like the sound's not on properly. Yesterday it sounded pretty good. I weren't there, but it just when I was watching, it sounded actually note perfect. And I like that they do that. That's a nice part. So that's my champagne moment. Yourself?
I think Richarlison's header, mate. I think we've been screaming out for that. I think we've been screaming out for Richie, mate. See, Kev, I tell you all about the pigeon, yeah? He's played 2 halves and scored 2 goals. Mate, he puts himself down, mate. I'm telling you.
I'll tell you one thing that Richie gives us at the moment is someone who wants to have a bit of a fight on the pitch, and someone who wants to never question him about that. I've always said that he's got that. For me, he's just not an out-and-out finisher, and for the price and everything else. But they kind of need his characteristics in the moment of someone who really wants to put their fucking neck on the line and do something for the team. And do you know what? To be fair to him, when he's been on the bench, I've watched him when we score, and he is one of us in the sense he is passionate. It's just a shame that he doesn't warrant the price tag. But we need players like that at the moment that do want to get on there and just have a fucking row and play for the badge. So yeah, I'm kind of glad he got his goals. But yeah, the champagne moment for me was probably the Levy chance. That was probably the best bit of the game for me was watching fucking Dr. Evil squirm in his fucking chair.
Shane, what was your champagne moment? What was the best thing you saw in a tough game?
Richarlison's goal. I think this is the only good thing I've seen, to be honest. Yeah, really struggled. I mean, I don't want to give Porro any credit at the minute, but it was a great ball into Richie. But yeah, I'd have to agree with Richarlison's goal. There was one bit yesterday. I don't know if anyone noticed it. It hasn't been on any of the highlights that I've seen today. But there's one. He's tried to charge down, and I can't remember if it was a ball going in or if the keeper had the ball. But I just thought if that was Solanke, 100% we would have scored. And you just realise how much. For me, like Kev said earlier, Solanke and Van der Ven, get them 2 back. I'd have them 2 back over anyone in a heartbeat. I think we missed them more than anyone in that whole squad. They're the first 2 names on the sheet for me. But Richie, yeah, him for his goal, I think he's a great sub to have, and he is passionate about the team. I do believe that, but yeah, he's a great squad player, and to come on and just to be that shithouse in the last 15, 20 minutes or for a bit of help, yeah, do. But yeah, I'll give it to Richie for his goal.
Nice. Matty, man of the match and dick of the day. I'll ask you both of them.
Dick of the day, Pedro Porro. I know he put a wonderful cross in, but he was kind of at fault for both the goals. And I just think yesterday he lost the ball 3 times in the space of 10 seconds. I just think he's sometimes playing like a championship defender. I don't know what's gone on wrong with the geezer. Man and match. I'm going to say Bergvall, mate. I don't think he stopped all game. I think he was the only one that showed a bit of fight for the whole 90 minutes.
Yeah, Kev, any difference to what Matt says with man of match and dick of the day?
Definitely Bergvall for me. I think. I mean, for me, he is just like he sort of strikes me as a kid who's on trial somewhere and is doing everything he can to try and get a contract at a club, even though he's already got one. He's trying everything, and at 18 years old, same as Gray. I mean, the maturity in their performances and their will to work hard and be grateful. I think to be grateful to be where they are at such a big club and sort of taking in everything that they're going through as football players for our club. I think they're the kind of heartbeat for us at the moment, and they don't stop, Lee. And they're my kind of players. They're just players that run themselves into the ground for the badge. Will win everything for me all day. So yeah, Bergvall for me. Dick of the day, I've got 2. I've got one for Spurs, one for Leicester. I think Porro is, for me, so many goals down his side. I mean, the like we said, the attitude of for me thinking that he's better than he is at the moment. I mean, I can't wait for Udogie to get back and Spence to fucking lodge him out of that right back spot, because that needs to happen. We're desperate for that to happen.
Kev, you see the bit where he beat 3 players? All he had to do was just square the ball across to Sonny or Mikey Moore.
One where he shot.
Yeah.
Mashed it across side netting.
Yeah.
What is the matter with that?
He's done that a couple of times where he tried to shoot from that angle, and I'm like, just put it across the box. I mean, you had Bergvall in the box screaming at him, going, "Oh, what you fucking doing?" This is an 18-year-old going, why aren't you doing it?" And then when he turns around, he does a grimace on his face and he starts hopping. Does that hopping thing all the fucking time, like he's pulled sang, and that's the reason why he's put that shit cross in. Fucking sick of it. The other dick of the day is fucking Jamie Vardy, man. I can't stand that cunt. I'll tell you what, he's
one you want on your team, but he's a wanker when he's not.
He fucking haunts me. He ruined it when I was up there for the first game of the season, and he fucking ruined this one as well. And that pointing to the badge thing, for how much of a shit ass he is, I mean, he fucking makes my blood boil. I've hated some players over the years, right? But he fucking does me. And he always seems to pop up and score against us. But yeah, he's a proper fucking dick, old Vardy.
Shade, man of the match and dick of the day for you.
Yeah, it's hard to disagree with anything, to be honest. My point on Bergvall, I really hope he has cemented his place in that team now, regardless when everyone comes back. Because for me, I play him over Bentancur, Sarr, Basuma. I play him over all 3 of them at the moment. And my biggest fear is when they all come back, he's edged out onto the bench. After how he's been playing, if he does, it'd be an absolute fucking disgrace if he does. But for me, like I said, he just I can't remember how late on in the game. He stayed on for the full game yesterday, didn't he? He didn't come off. I'm sure he played, but he's right at the death and he's sprinting his absolute bollocks off to get this ball. Just thought, fucking a bit of passion, like I said, from an 18-year-old lad. So yeah, him for me, he stood out and he just wanted it more than anyone yesterday. Star could easily be the dick of the day. Bentancur, I didn't think he had a great game either. But yeah, Porro again for me. That one that Matt said, where it was clear as day. I was a complete opposite end to it. And I was screaming, cross it, cross it, cross it. And he fucking has a shot. And yeah, he plays like, when he was at school and there was always that player who just thought he's fucking above everyone, thought he's amazing. I genuinely think Porro thinks he's amazing and he walks into any team and he really isn't that guy. He's not that guy. He disappointed me so much yesterday and the last 5 games, to be honest. He might score the odd goal here and there, or a good ball like that ball to Maddison Thursday night, that cross yesterday. And I think it takes a lot of heat off him. But other than that, he was shit yesterday. He was a joke.
Interesting. Well, I mean, that's it, guys. You've given your predictions for next week. You've given your evaluation for yesterday. We can only hope. Ellsborg, let's see what we get. Brentford, let's see what we get. What we do want a bigger shout out to is that, like Kev said, the Spurs women are at home Sunday night to Manchester United. They got a good win yesterday in the Women's Super League, a good 3-2 win. Beth England, the captain, getting 2 goals, and a last minute, 95th minute winner, we could say, by Olivia Holt. So if you're down in the area, or if you like your women's football, please go and support the girls down on the White Hart Lane Stadium, Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, whatever you want to bloody call it these days. But that's I think it's 7:15, isn't it, Kev? 7:15 on Sunday night. It's quite a weird.
7:15. Yeah.
Well, why is it such a strange kickoff time? Why is it such a strange
mad.
kickoff?
It's mad when you've got like families that are a big part of the Women's Super League. It's a really weird kickoff time. But let's hope they get a good number down there.
Lee, I'll tell you what I've got. I might book it in for Saturday. My dad bought me the walk round, and then the Absal down. You know?
Oh, yeah, it's brilliant.
Stadium.
Yeah.
Tottenham Stadium. What do you mean that's brilliant, mate? I'm fucking shit in my pants.
Mate, I did it around the same time, early February, about 3 years ago. It was freezing.
I've been done it, mate. I've done the Skywalk.
You done the Skywalk?
I didn't do the Absal thing, but I've done the Skywalk.
Would you do the Absal?
Yeah, I'll be all right with it. I want to do a skydive. I want to get something going for that, for us to do that.
No.
Time to do a skydive. Maybe we'll do it for charity through the page or something.
Yeah,
maybe I'll get.
I'll watch out. I'll take your picture. I'll be like
I'll call it a Leave You Out charity. I reckon shitloads of people will sponsor me for it.
Skydive, Kevin, then 2 foot the fucker straight in the head.
Definitely, mate. Definitely.
Yeah. Well, lads, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thanks for coming on, Shane. Thanks for being a part of the pod tonight. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you, mate. Come back soon.
Cheers, mate.
Thanks for everyone who's been on the messages. We've been sharing the messages, talking about them. Obviously on the Instagram, the YouTube, the Facebook, the TikTok. It's popped off. We're so thankful for your support. The support's forever growing. We're getting record numbers at the moment. So please keep telling your friends about Heart Now Here, the Spurs Fans Podcast. Follow us on all your socials. Listen to us through, obviously, Spotify, Google, Apple Podcasts. We are everywhere. And we'll be back next week. Let's hope that everything's good in the Europa League and everything's better, at least 3 points better in the Premier League. This has been the Heart Now Here Spurs Fans Podcast. Keep the faith somehow. Please keep the faith. We'll see you next week. Come on, you Spurs.